Julie and Christina, welcome to the Retail Whore podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. So
I'm-
excited to be here today.
I'm super excited to have you guys here. A little backstory is my friend Sam, who I was at Fred Siegel with way back in the day, most of us have stayed in contact, and she reached out to me and said her son is dating this amazing woman and they created this bath line and you really should talk to them. And I reached out, and I've told you guys now off camera that I've searched out your product and have been using it religiously, because for those who listen to the podcast and who know me well, know that I'm a total bath weirdo. And that is like literally how I unwind. So I'm very excited to have you both here. Julie and Christina, which one do you want to first introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about yourself? You don't have to get into the story yet. We'll get into that in a minute.
Sure. Julie, you want to go first?
Sure. My name's Julie D'Angelo. I'm from Michigan. Christina and I both are. We actually met at Michigan State and lived together while we were at school. I guess while I was there, I studied packaging engineering, which came to be super helpful as we developed this product, and graphic design as well. So that's really played into my strengths. Yeah, what else? And I live in Hawaii.
Which is divine. I'm so jealous. Christina?
Yeah, and Julie's our COO, and I act as our CEO. I'm Christina Fatanesi. Nice to be here today. I live calling from Taos, New Mexico, and my background was business and sustainability. And Julie and I were able to just kind of mirror our skills and our backgrounds and experience to create this beautiful product, and excited to share it with you guys today.
Your product is called Detox Babe, and the product came from a place of need for both of you. And before we get into the story, when you guys were in college together, what were you studying and what was the plan of what you wanted to do? And how far off the track are we?
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I was studying finance and business, and I thought I was going to be in investment banking. I quickly learned I did not want to be in investment banking, and kind of pivoted to more sustainability innovation roles. I went back to get my master's in sustainability. And did I think that I would own a business like this? No, definitely didn't think in high school that Julie and I would be running a business. We were off doing maybe some more risky things in our college days and planning a business. And Julie,
I never thought I'd own a business like this. It totally just happened. I got to Michigan State. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Thought I was going to be in forestry. I was in forestry for a while. I was in biomedical engineering. I swapped around a lot. Eventually Michigan State has like the top packaging school in the country.
Wow.
So I took a packaging class and I was like, this is interesting. You know, if they're really good at it here, why not? And I really fell in love with it. There's so many ways to apply it to so many different industries that I saw a big future in it. And I mean, still do. And like, you know, consumer products, food, medicine, it like applies to so much. And then the whole graphic design aspect of it really intrigued me. So I'm really happy with what I chose. And it's definitely helped with where we are now, but totally didn't imagine we'd be running a company at this point.
I mean, it sounds like both of your backgrounds in college definitely help. I mean, for sure yours, Julie, but I mean, even finance. I mean, I think, and sustainability, all of it seems like a perfect marriage for creating a product like you have. So let's go back to Julie, who's Julie's story first on, were you both in Michigan and still at this point?
Yes. So just after graduation, a month after walking the stage. I was at my parents' and living there and like, you know, applying to jobs like everyone's doing. And I went out one night in Detroit. Long story kind of short, was sexually, physically assaulted by a group of people, and totally blindsided me, obviously, and left me extremely vulnerable and scared and broken in myself. And it was a really long process, even like reporting it to the police and all the steps that entail after something like that happens. It's really intense for a long time, for about a year. It was very, very intense, even after the fact of just the follow-up. And so I was super, super shaken. I had no idea which way was up, and didn't trust myself, didn't trust anyone around me, hated like my body. Like I was just like very insecure with myself and really low. And when you're like that, I mean, there's not many things to pull you out of it. And I didn't even tell my family, like my parents. I was, you know, you're ashamed at a point, to a degree,
Wow.
ashamed. And
So
it's,
you're carrying this around all by yourself.
yeah, I was carrying a lot. And I didn't want to make anyone feel, you know, my parents or anything be upset. So I carried it a lot for a really long time. Super heavy. And physically, like it really hurt my body, and like my body changed and my hips became so tight, and like my whole body, like physiologically, I feel like was like affected. And I really was like, I don't know how to get better. And really clung to like my friends. And I always have been like a friend first kind of person. And I think that's really what binded Christina and I at this time, is we were just like, we just really stuck together to get through what we had to get through. It was really like survival mode at
Oh.
that point.
How I read in your bio, baths were a big part of your
Yeah.
healing process.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, Christina too, but yeah, baths are a really big part of feeling good. And I tried, you know, I was in tons of therapy, and I think talk therapy is awesome for a lot of things, but physically, I felt like taking a warm bath was so soothing and opening and like soft. It's very like womb-like and nurturing. Like I felt really held, and I didn't want to be touched physically. Like hugs were scary for a while, and like that was like really a safe place that I felt like I could reconnect to myself, or like thank my body, and you know, just get comfortable again inside of me. So I think it's a really good tool for other survivors or for all sorts of different things.
I have to say how incredibly brave you are, A, to talk about this, and B, to carry it around by yourself, like just going in and out of your parents' home every day and having a mask of everything's fine when it's not. Like
Yeah, it
that's
was really hard.
incredibly
And they
brave.
knew something was wrong, but I was, you know, so guarded and sad. Like, and so they didn't know how to help. And it was actually one of the beautiful moments of Detox Babe. Like, this is a couple years later, but finally launching Detox Babe was what actually prompted me to come forward to my parents about it. Like when I
They
felt
didn't
strong
know
enough.
until then?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I finally felt like strong enough and like stable enough that I like could tell them and just be honest. And, you know, and that was it was just a really big step. And I felt like starting the brand really gave me that confidence to even go back and do that, kind of sew up like a loose end, it almost felt like. So that was a really big moment for me.
The weight off your shoulders must have been massive.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks. And unfortunately, it happens to so many people to varying degrees, but it's 1 in 4 women in their lifetime in the US. So I know there's other people out there that could
Have they
benefit.
caught the people? Did you ever have
No,
any kind of closure on that end?
no. And I
Wow.
was really angry. I was so angry, right? And I
No
held
doubt.
so much anger. And I thought that I'd find justice and it'd all be avenged, and nothing came of it. I mean, the
Oh,
system's really broken. And yeah, like a year of investigating. I had a detective, I had special victims unit on it, and they were like, oh, the DA said there's not enough to bring this to court. There's not enough evidence here, so it's dropped essentially. And I didn't have money for a lawyer or something, so it just ended. Like I just got a call one day and it was over. So I had to make peace with that.
hmm.
Lots of steps, like still.
Incredible. And again, thank you for talking about this.
Or
Tina, you also had your own medical issue that also brought you to this.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing all that, Julie, that you are able to really speak about that in a beautiful and eloquent manner. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I similar time, I started feeling neurological symptoms, or what first happened, memory loss, anxiety. And about 6 months later, I basically crashed. And for the following 3 years, in and out of the hospital, I went from, being a young, healthy 24-year-old to being in a wheelchair and unable to dress or feed myself.
Wow.
Um, and I was living in tremendous, tremendous pain, because what happened was I was misdiagnosed for so long that the infection was full body, and my immune system couldn't tell the difference between my tissues and the bacteria. So I just had full body autoimmune, brain, muscles, joints. Um, so very much on disability and dependent on, luckily, my loved ones and my family and friends who were just so remarkable and carried me through that time. But living in tremendous pain, and prescribed a lot of painkillers just to really get out of bed. And um, I would take sometimes up to 3 baths per day just to alleviate my pain. And I actually was prescribed, once I started going through treatment and was diagnosed, I because I went to like top hospitals in the country, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, and no one had seen a case as severe as mine, and or had seen any type of autoimmune reaction at the severity that I had. So it was kind of a medical mystery, but I finally got diagnosed with Lyme disease, which is really common, of being
Ooh.
misdiagnosed and as a result causing havoc in your body. Um, and I actually was prescribed Epsom salt baths from my doctor on my off days of treatment, because you have to detox the pathogens out of your body before you continue your treatment. And so, yeah, baths were just like a huge part of my healing process. And at one point when I had been living in California, and then I moved home and was recovering there with my parents. And Julie moved out to California, and we both, were so close. And at one point when I had hit remission, it's similar to cancer, for periods of it, of hitting remission and relapsing. And I moved out to California in with Julie. And it was a really beautiful friendship. It wasn't, unfortunately, long until I relapsed, and pretty much Julie was my caregiver during that time.
Wow.
I couldn't grocery shop myself. I couldn't get out of the house many days. So just Julie was just a huge support beam to me. I ended up going through bee venom therapy, which I
That
stung. Well, actually, Julie stung me with 30 live bees 3 times per week for almost 2 years.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's I reached it, unfortunately, out of desperation. I tried every type of treatment, holistic, Western, hyperbaric, ozone, and my liver, I was being hospitalized for liver failure, and it was kind of a last resort. I had
Oh
heard
my
about it through the
God.
Lyme community, and I thought, what else? I'm either going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, which I was told many times I wouldn't walk again, or give this a try. So I did, and it worked, and I'm doing great and healing every single day and running again and skiing and using
Oh
my
my God.
brain. And so,
I
but Julie, I couldn't really have done that without Julie. And during this time, we were just like young 20-year-olds, just trying to both keep
that
our
is
head above water.
crazy.
And we were sick of like always being like, oh, you have to reach for an NSAID, or you have to reach for a Xanax or a pain medicine, like what doctors would tell us what we would need to take to feel better. And it's not sustainable. And we knew this is something that we both would be dealing with and managing for a long time. And so we created these different bath formulas based on like the different symptoms that we felt day to day, and that most people do feel day to day, and used a combination of superfoods and binders and vitamins and minerals and salts and plant and flower extracts, to create this alleviation of our symptoms in a natural way. So the creation of our business really came from something like Julie says, making what do you say? What's that saying? Making lemonade.
Lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that
Lemonade
it?
out of lemons. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a hard time for both of us. And we're so proud that what came from it is
Oh my God.
lemonade. And sharing our story has been hard, but also rewarding, because there's so many people out there that are going through something of some degree. And just, we want people to know, like, we wish we could see where we were 4 years ago. If we could see where we both were today, I mean, yeah, it's just remarkable. So
I have to ask you about the bee therapy, because I know everyone listening to this is going to ask what, so 30 bees, bee
We get shipped to
stings.
our house in a little box, and we had bees in our house, in our apartment.
And do you pick them up and
done
you
it.
Pick them up,
actually?
pick them up with a little tweezer, and you kind
Oh
of
my God.
yeah,
piss them off
I
a
know
little
it
bit.
sounds
and make them
wild.
sting.
I
Yeah.
obviously was desperate.
I can imagine. My sister had Lyme disease and she missed 2 years of college because the same thing. She couldn't get out of bed. It's my stepsister, so I didn't know just how bad it was or what the symptoms were like, because I was in California and she was in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
And but she had I guess gotten it when she was in Massachusetts, and she was in San Diego State when all the symptoms hit. And then she had it shipped back home, and that's where she spent 2 years recovering. And she's, has recovered, but I have no idea how she recovered. So hearing your story is just jaw dropping.
Yeah, there's all different levels of severity, and depending on when you catch it is really important. But yes, it was really out of desperation, and I was really weak and really skinny, and I just really very ill. But it makes sense. Something from nature gave it to me. Something from nature is going to take it away, is how I look at it. The main component, melatonin, is an antibacterial, antiviral, antiparasitic, and it's found more effective than any antibiotics.
Wow.
And so once my brain fog started lifting and I started being able to be more active, as I just kept going. And not that it was a linear healing process, there were a lot of ups and downs, but I've not taken any medicine to treat Lyme for over a year, and I've had COVID and multiple other stresses that would usually make me relapse.
Is it almost like an autoimmune now, where if you get stressed, it fires itself back up?
Well, so I have developed an autoimmune response, which is separate from having Lyme. My immune system became really confused, and it takes a while to heal from that. So I can still have flares in my joints. So that doesn't mean I have Lyme there. It's just my immune system gets confused when it's overworked.
Gotcha.
Or stressed, or compromised.
So you guys take me through now, because now you're healing. You've been a caretaker. You have basically each other that you're leaning on. Where does the conversation start about how this product came to be. I mean, how does this conversation start?
In our kitchen in Los Angeles. And we realized really just like the properties and how it affected us or impacted us and how it alleviated our symptoms and how much it was positively impacting our life. And like, at the time for us, cost was always like, you know, there's so many, we were living in Los Angeles, so we had exposure just to so many great different like wellness spas and breathworks and you name it. But a bath is something that most people have in their home that's like affordable and accessible. And we really just created these formulas and started giving them to friends and family to like to show and see their feedback if it provided them relief. And it did, and people loved it. And we started getting requests for the baths. And so we just kind of went from there, and never stopped.
So when you were at home healing, were you guys like playing with these tinctures as like, you know, in your own baths? Like you literally created this as you're going along.
Yes, we did a lot of research, we were lucky enough to have access to Harvard's like complete library because I was studying my master's there.
Wow.
And so we like pulled all these different scientific backed research on ingredients and that's kind of how we initially made formulas, is through research, but then we had to make sure those ingredients worked in the bath. And so there were trial and errors and well, we thought that we could like launch in 2 months, ended up being almost a year until we launched. Yeah.
So now you guys know from feedback and from your own experience that this bath is working. I mean, you have a packaging background. I'm assuming at this point you start researching packaging and because your graphics are, I mean, your packaging is amazing and your graphics are beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Julie.
We started with, I mean, cost was always a prohibitor. So we started with pouches that we just got custom labels and would lay the labels on each bag before we filled them at home with our funnels. And it's evolved a lot now into these paper tubes.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good.
It's really cute. It's different than what you see. And I think things that stand out are good. So I always liked the black instead of like a white or
Agreed.
something that you might see
Yep.
in wellness or personal care. And then even like the colors on the package, like I went camping in Ojai and I took a bunch of photos just outside and I pulled the colors from the images I took to use on the labels. Like we just really, it was all love from the beginning. So thank you. I'm really proud of
you when you took those photographs. That was like a pretty big weekend for you.
Yeah, I went camping alone and it was a big weekend because I was just like,
after what you went through, that's ballsy.
Yeah, exactly. I had to like keep kind of pushing myself a little further. And that was a big weekend because I slept outside in my tent and it was great. But I was a little nervous. Yeah.
I mean, I'm afraid to go camping by myself. I don't think I've ever done that, and I'm 57. God damn it, I've not gone through anything at all. So okay, I think the biggest question I have is, how do you finance something like this? Like, this is not, you know, production. I'm assuming in the beginning you guys are doing the production yourselves in your house, in the kitchen, blah, blah. But now, I mean, you guys are in some major stores now. I mean, you have some big accounts. So how do you take it from I'm making it in my kitchen into production where it's going out to big accounts?
One of the biggest struggles
Yeah.
of scaling a business, especially being woman owned, is funding. We've bootstrapped the business. The initial years, we produced everything ourselves. So like Julie said, we made our first year, I mean, we were really testing the market at that point. This was such a small operation. We would make our friends and family would come on Saturday and Sundays. We would make these big batches and we would hand fill and weigh every single bag. Our bigger orders, we would, have our friends and family come over and that's
Wow.
how we would fulfill. We then bought essentially FDA food grade cement mixer. We called her Big Bertha. And we made all of our salts, and that helped a lot, and helped us get to like the next scale of from manually mixing to an automatic machine. Still at that point, I was doing it out of basically converted my garage. I had moved to Denver, converted my garage, spent like 12 hours a day in my garage filling and sending out orders. And
I was still in LA, and I would like fly there. If we had a really big order, I'd fly there so we could like get it out.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love
Granted-
stories like this.
yeah. Granted, I had a horrible like arthritis, and salts are very heavy, and I'm healing from being just autoimmune injuries. So at the end of the day, oh my gosh, my joints hurt so bad, but we pushed it and got the orders out and got through that phase. And then we were able to save enough money to do a production run with a manufacturer.
Low volume manufacturing,
volume.
the lowest we could find, but we were like, this isn't going to keep working, basically. Like, this is a funnel, like so we need to step it up. So we moved to the manufacturer. We've moved to a few manufacturers. It's really like find the fit. Like you have to
I was
find
going to ask you
the
that.
fit. So we've been through a couple, and now we're with someone we absolutely love, but it wasn't right the first time.
I don't think it is a lot of times the right fit. I think it's one of those things. I talked to somebody that created drinks mixes that are in little packets, and he had a food scientist work with him, and they're creating all these things, and I think they've gone through a few production places as well. And it's like I love when you finally find the match, and that's who you end up building this giant brand with, because they're able to handle the volume. So now that you have the manufacturer, you have the packaging, how did you land some of your accounts?
Yeah.
As a line that doesn't have representation, I have to talk. I mean,
another huge component too of how we're able to move this next step is we also are now working with a fulfillment center. So we have our manufacturer out of Chicago, and then our fulfillment center, our products stored and shipped out of our fulfillment center in Cincinnati.
Wow.
It was also hard to find a warehouse that would take as good of a care of our product as we, the standards that we hold it to. So we finally have amazing partners, and we've worked with them for about 2 years now, and we're really grateful, but it took a while and a little trial and error there. So for our bigger retailers, our orders get shipped directly from our manufacturer. And then for our smaller and our direct to consumer, it is shipped from our warehouse in Cincinnati.
How many flavors do you have? Because I have the stress one, and then you just showed sniffles.
We have 6. I don't have them all. Toxins, sniffles, hangover, dry, pain, stress.
What does each one do, and the properties that are inside them, and how do they help?
So the basis of all of them help to support the natural detoxification process of the body. That's the Epsom salts and the salts. And then what's cool about our brand is, we launched as a bath brand, but we're actually moving into more of a wellness, self-care, personalized self-care direction, and working on some launches there. But what's awesome about our bath brand, we kind of always looked at ourselves as a wellness brand, not a bath brand. And what's typical is bath brands usually give flavors or scents. We never looked like this was such a health focused ideation and thought process that we never looked at our bath soaks as a flavor or a scent. Each ingredient in each formula is not to smell or look a certain way. It holds a therapeutic purpose, either to helping support the natural detoxification process of the body, or to that symptom. So for example, our bye toxins line, that is our strongest antioxidant. It's great for environmental exposures. It's a really nice, strong, but also gentle detox formula. So if you're looking and you're feeling like, oh, I've just kind of been off my game, eating weird, maybe exposed to some things, that's a good one to take. Our Bye Bye Sniffles is an immune booster. It has over 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, and different ingredients to clear up your senses. I always look over here because I have them up on the wall right here. Our Dry helps with dry skin, every type of like skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis. Our stress helps to alleviate stress. And what am I missing? Our Hangover has binders and different ingredients, binders to bind to alcohol toxins, and then also ingredients to help support liver function and boost your brain function.
Wow.
And which one am I forgetting? Pain, my favorite one.
Pain.
The one that's my favorite. Everyone kind of leans towards whatever they experience more. So pain for me is my favorite, and pain is a really strong anti-inflammatory formula.
So is that what are the essentials that are in the pain? And what's in the stress? Because whatever is in it seriously works. It's like I can't, my bathtub doesn't keep hot super long, and I don't have a whatever you call it, water tank. So it's like that is the hot water you're going to get for 30 minutes. But I will stay in there until it is cooled down enough that I can't handle anymore. But it's like, one thing I will say, because like I said, I'm a total bath freak, and it's like everything from super expensive goop to just plain Epsom salts to whatever it is. It doesn't stain your bathtub, because I have a goop one that I thought I was going to love. That's like black sea salt. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Gwyneth obviously doesn't clean her own bathtub, because that was such a shit show that it was like, I couldn't get it out. And it was like, part of me when I opened the package, because it's like a lovely pink color and has this beautiful scent. And they're not like scents like you were saying, but you know, I
do smell so good though.
Oh my God, amazing. But I was like, please God, please don't turn my bathtub pink. Please don't turn my bathtub.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. And that's that, you know, just the whole experience and just how calm I am in it. So what are some of the properties that are in that, as well as like what's in the pain one? Because that's going to be the one I order next.
Yeah. So the stress, each ingredient in it, Epsom salt helps alleviate aches and pains and detoxify the body. Every other ingredient individually have peer-reviewed research on lowering cortisol in bodies. So that's red beet powder, chia seed oil. That's what makes it pink, is red beet powder. We don't use any synthetic dyes or fragrances. We use superfood powder.
Yeah, I saw that on when I was looking at the ingredients. I'm like, because a lot of the ingredients I have not seen on a bath soak.
Yeah. You won't find it out there. And I think because we didn't try to really make a bath line, we were really looking at it as a kind of functional medicine approach. So so the red beet powder is what makes it pink. Chia seed oil, lavender, essential oils, frankincense, and bergamot.
Amazing. So now how did you get in big brands? Because you're in some big accounts, and how does one without any representation whatsoever and just starting out, how do you get your foot in doors in some of these doors?
Yeah, some of them were word of mouth, just getting in someone loving our product and knowing that their friend or family is a buyer and sharing it with them because they loved it. Some of it has been through, we work with sales rep groups. So a few accounts are through that. Some of it's through Julie and I. We do outreach and email people and call and send LinkedIn messages and share about our product. And we've had great response through that. And also, yeah, just like organically, partnering at the beginning with wellness influencers that, again, just really actually wanted to represent our product. Big influencers, not for money, just because they liked our product and wanted to use it.
That's great.
And that gained traction of some of the bigger accounts too, just kind of put us on the map.
Are you because you're looking at yourselves as a wellness brand, where are you? Are you in Erewhon? Are you in Whole Foods?
No, we're not in Erewhon or Whole Foods yet.
I'm
We
shocked.
should hear back from Whole Foods soon. And Erewhon, we just actually spoke with their VP of wellness, and we're hoping to get in there soon. It's a hard one to get into.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, because I look at it, I'm a buyer by trade. I'm a retail consultant. Like, this is my side hustle, but I've been in retail for 40 plus years. And so I know the industry inside and out. And that's why I called it flavors, because you're at the gift show and you're looking at 1,000 different things. It's like, just what are the flavors? Like, it's like, but your potential in retailers, because of the packaging and because of the product, is so huge. And that's, I think, a reason why I really wanted to have you guys on here, because this is literally all retailers that listen to this, as well as wholesale showrooms that are representative. And it's like, I feel like your potential in the industry is huge. And the fact that it's not perfumey, and it's not, you know, there's a shit ton of crappy bath salt lines that say they're wellness, that, you know, because I've literally tried everything, but yours is legit, and it literally does work. And it's like, I feel like you guys need to be out there in a ton of different stores. And I have no doubt that after this airs, because I know a lot of stores already that I know will end up calling you, but I just I just felt really strongly about that, because I just felt like that this is pretty amazing. And it's rare that I get this fired up about stuff, just to let you know.
Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate that so much. And
Yeah.
you know, we just turned like 3 years old, so we're still so new as a
That's
brand, and
amazing.
we've grown. Like, we just can't wait until we also see Detox Babe in so many stores, and just as a household brand. Like, we really want it to be a household brand that people can rely on to be clean and work. So we're excited to keep growing, and we're also super passionate about sustainability, which has helped us grow and set us apart from some of our competitors in terms of retailers, and helped us gain traction fast, because everything we do is with sustainability in mind, in terms of the formula itself being extremely clean. We use no preservatives, synthetic dyes, everything.
What's
is
shelf life, if you don't mind me asking?
12 months once opened.
That's great. Wow, that's shocking once open.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other products that you're looking at launching now that you're not actually physically making all the stuff, you have a chance to like dive back in and creating again?
We have so many ideas. It's a huge list, but a few that are very soon up and coming. Like we kind of touched on, like we're expanding basically each of our symptoms into a system. So we kind of create a whole experience around the soak that is already existing. But sneak preview, body oil.
Ooh.
After your soak,
18 different superfoods in that body oil. We've been in R&D for almost 2 years, and it's designed to repair the skin's microbiome. And which most products on today's market strip the microbiome, and it's your body's first line of defense. So we're so excited to launch that.
Really, really awesome oil, and a really awesome face mask, just a powder that you're going to mix with water and make a paste, with this awesome ingredient called Kissimmee glacial clay. Have you come across that? No. It's from this like glacier deposit in British Columbia, Canada. And it's been used for thousands of years by the native people. They've ingested it and used it topically to cure so many different things.
Wow.
It's really, really cool. We're really excited that our manufacturer brought this ingredient to us basically, and was like, this has so many awesome properties. They're studying it at MIT. Like, they're still figuring out how awesome it is. And so really excited about that too.
Yeah, they're studying it at MIT against antibiotics because it's being right now shown more effective than antibiotics. We're using it topically because it's from a volcano deposit. It's extremely positively charged, so it attracts negatively charged ions like toxins, bacteria, viruses. So that's why it's so great in the face mask, is it just binds to all those toxins and pulls them out.
So if you have acne or you have skin problems, eczema as well, it seems like that would be like the solution, or one of the solutions.
It's in preclinical trials right now. The preclinical trials show great results for phenomenal results for collagen production, eczema, psoriasis. Those three were the three skin conditions skin.
So how do you guys, now that you are creating, like your manufacturer brought you this amazing product, but for other things, like how are you guys just, I mean, do you still have the access to the Harvard medical? So are you just going through just medical information? I don't even know what you call it. Like, are you just like searching, like, just, is this your full-time job now, of like, or do you have a chance to do other things? Or are you literally just like R&D, like this is what we're doing?
No, certainly not all we're doing. We wear so many hats throughout the day.
It's just Christina and we do everything.
Yeah,
so.
we have amazing partners and contractors that we work with, but no, it's we go in chunks of really like head down R&D research, bring our research and our key ingredients and like kind of dream wish list to our manufacturer, who has a chemist team and can actually like test the formulas.
That's what I'm gonna ask, how that happens.
Yeah, and then essentially sometimes they'll say, which saves us a lot of time versus us creating the bath formulas initially ourselves and learning the hard way about some, if it drains down the bathtub and whatnot. Yeah, so then essentially they'll come and say, this ingredient maybe we need to eliminate, we could add something like this, similar properties, and will help guide us on that process.
So I asked you guys before, I think in the email, if you were represented, and you're on FAIR right now. So people, like 90% of the retailers are utilizing FAIR, but are you looking for representation, or are you guys just kind of, it's like FAIR? I mean, FAIR is great. I just, I wonder if you're looking for representation, and because again, like there's a lot of people that listen to this that are, Dallas showrooms, Atlanta showrooms, Las Vegas showrooms.
Yes, we're always looking for new partnerships. FAIR has been very great to us, but we also really cherish like the different rep groups that we work with. We work really closely with a few in specific industries and verticals, but we are looking to expand. So yeah, anyone that we can connect with through this podcast, we would love to. Whether it be a retailer, a buyer, broker, or anyone that's listening, we would love to connect.
What are your guys' Instagram handles? Because I tried to find it on Instagram and I could not find it. I went to tag you and then I was like, Detox Babe, it does not, something with a strawberry comes up. I'm like, what?
Huh.
Well, you should, it's Detox Babe __. But you should still see it when you type in Detox Babe. Detox Babe with the strawberry has 1 follower, and we've messaged her since the day that we've started, and I don't think she's ever looked at it. So we're Detox Babe __.
Yeah, it's the __ that because I even now I'm looking at it's like still
that's weird.
Still doesn't.
Oh, just do one
word
Detox Babe.
Still though,
it should come up even with 2 words.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, even with 2 words, it's still, or 1 word. So I was like, wonder what, so that way at least we will make sure that we have your links in the show notes to make sure that everybody can get a hold of you.
Definitely.
Thank you guys so much, both for being vulnerable enough to share your story with all of our listeners and talk about your product. And I just, like I said, because I've been in the industry for so long, it really takes a lot to wow me, because I'm super jaded, especially after spending time at Fred Siegel and some of the retailers I've worked with and for. And it's like, I found when I'm so grateful to Sam for making this introduction, because it's truly like amazing product.
Thank you. Shout out, Sam. Thank you so much for having us and holding the space for us to open up and speak about it all. So we appreciate you.
Thank you. I will, we'll have the show notes. We will make sure that anybody that reaches out to us, we will connect them with you. And just thank you guys. I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It was an honor to be.
You I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, don't hang up yet when I hang up.
Okay, I thought you meant like I stopped the podcast. No. Let's say thank you so much. It's been an honor to meet you and be here today. We've been really excited, and if we would love to stay connected and see if we can work together in any potential. And also, if anyone's listening just wants to check out our website, it's detoxbabe.com.
And Instagram is detoxbabe_.
__.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.